It's a huge time for gym and studio owners all around the world. Social distancing restrictions and COVID closures are starting to be lifted. What this means is that all of us that have been in hibernation for the last 10, 12, 14 weeks are slowly starting to come out. For me, as a studio owner in New South Wales in Australia, the restrictions are going to be lifted in about 2 weeks' time, or just under 2 weeks. Part of the requirement of being able to reopen as a small studio is the limited class capacity, as well as some contact tracing information that needs to be collected. Now, full transparency is my facility isn't a big gym. Right? We have a membership base of 100 or thereabouts, and a full class capacity of 10 already in place. So we are not, and I'm not necessarily the biggest fitness facility out there. There are a whole bunch of all-in-one solutions that are readily available and are in the marketplace. So things like MindBody are huge within the cycle and yoga studios. Waterfy for those that run sort of affiliate and CrossFit style gyms. And they're great solutions. They have workout tracking, they have billing, they have a whole bunch of other stuff. Ironically, I'm not the most digital person when it comes to my my CrossFit affiliate, my small gym. So I do run data tracking around workouts, and my billing is done online, but I don't have a tracking software, I guess, other than the whiteboard. And unfortunately, taking a whiteboard photo and or sketching it down each day is probably not something that I really want to do. I want something that is certainly online, that gives a little bit of power and control of the schedule to my community, so that they can book their sessions, and also the functionality of contact tracing and data collection, so that should a need arise that we need to obtain some information about who was in the gym at what time, and obviously who else was in the facility. This is going to give me a really, really easy, low-cost solution. So if you're a small studio owner that requires a digital solution or an online scheduler at a relatively low cost, this is going to be the video you're going to want to watch. Let's go. All right, fam, here we are. We're in studio mode. I'm going to bump the studio screen or the website straight up. So you don't need to be completely tech savvy with this one. If you can sign into Facebook and run a basic drag and drop, I suppose, or run a calendar, this is going to be really easy to use. So the software that I'm using is called Calendly. I'm going to head to their website. Now, if you're doing one-on-one bookings, you actually get a free of charge option on this one. You sign up with an email. You don't need a credit card to get started. You're good to go. You're only going to need your credit card once you reach the point of the limits for the particular subscription that you have. So I'm just going to quickly sign in here. I've already got an active account, and all that I need to do is create a new event type. So when you sign in for the first time, it's going to bring you to the home screen, which is what you can see right here. New event type is what we're setting up. Again, super easy interface, one-on-one or group. I'm doing group. Event name, I'm going to call it group class. You can call it anything that you like, all right? If it's yoga, yoga. CrossFit, CrossFit. Spin, call it spin. Location, now this is where the integration piece is. If you're booking Zoom calls, cool. For me, it's the face-to-face. So I'm going to set an in-person meeting. I'm going to call it my facility. Additional information, hey, we've been closed a little while, so I'm going to throw my street address in here. Now this is also a good thing to do because I will be scheduling in people that are new. So rather than me have to double handle the information or have them reach out and say, hey Maddie, where's your gym? Or where's your facility? The details are going to be in the booking when they sign up. Details, what the class is and all the instructions. Now, COVID restrictions or standards that you need to have your clients adhere to can be thrown in here. So it might be bring a towel. It might be make sure you've got a face mask. It might be your shirt stays on. Who knows? Whatever the instructions that you want to communicate to your attendee, this is where you get to put it. So you can put a class description. It's a 45-minute strength and conditioning class. It's a 45-minute indoor cycling class. And then any specific instructions pertaining to that session can be placed in there. It can be nicely formatted. You can put links, you can put headings and bullet lists and stuff like that. So you can put as much or as little detail as you want, but that's where you can put some details for your particular session that you're trying to get scheduled. It automatically generates a link, and this link we're going to use a little bit later on. So it's important to see, but not important to really focus on that too much for now. Here it is the max invitees in a spot. So my max invitees is 10, right? So I'm going to place 10 into the box. And because I'm going to do some sort of integration with my website later, I'm going to make it green because I've got green in my website and I like how it looks. So I'm going to say next. So I've already set up what the class is. This is where we start to put the booking and the schedule up. So it opens up a new screen here and it tells me a little bit of information at a glance by default, and then we can start to manipulate from here. So for me, my event duration is 60 minutes. So I'm going to schedule 60 minutes per attendee's visit. The date range, how far in advance you want people to be able to schedule. So I'm actually going to say it's 2 days, right? So they can book today and then 2 days in advance. If you want to have the whole week available for scheduling, awesome. If you only want to have the following day up for schedule, again, that is entirely up to you. I'm not here to tell you how to run your business. You do you, I'm going to do me. So for me, I'm allowing 2 rolling days, all right? So 2 days ahead, people can schedule. And I say apply. And automatically what that does is just shows you can see in the shaded area, is the clients will be able to... Can you hear that banging in the background? I knew that was going to happen when I started recording. I'm going to fix that. Be back in a second. All right, I knew that was going to happen. As soon as I started recording, there was going to be some sort of noise in the background that I've had to fix. So mental note to self, when you do a video, make sure that you shut all the windows and shut the blinds. Anyway, so where were we? By me putting the schedule date range, you can see that the highlighted or the white areas are what the clients will see, and the shaded areas is what's scheduled, but they can't see it yet. It's not visible. Time zone, please make sure you set the right time zone because it will be wrong for the client and then wrong for you, and you'll have errors all over the place. So for me, my time zone is Sydney, so I'm okay with that. Scroll through here, availability, set your available hours of when they can schedule meetings. So I'm going to schedule from the day that I can open. So Monday, the 15th of June. So I click on the 15th, and this is where it allows me to open up my availability. So I'm running a bit of a skeleton schedule at the moment. So I'm going to do this completely live. I run a 6 o'clock class. I run a 1 p.m. class, and I run a 5:30 p.m. class. Okay, each of these classes are an hour in duration. So I make sure that they have the right duration in there. And now I've created those intervals. Now this is where the Calendly function is really easy. It allows you to apply it to a single day, every Monday or every day that you're establishing the calendar item, or you can put it across multiple days. So for me, I've got highlighted here where it says apply to multiple. I have the same schedule for now, Monday through Friday. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to check the boxes for Monday through Friday, and then I hit apply. And automatically this has populated my schedule for an unlimited amount of time for the schedule that I've just created, right? So you can see that I've got 6 to 7, 12 to 1, 5:30 to 6:30. Schedule's live. Now, a little bit of housekeeping. I'm going to push this information out to my community in the next 24 hours, and I don't want them to be booking sessions before the 15th. So I need to do a little bit of tidying. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on a date, which is June the 1st, and I'm actually just going to delete this. So I'm going to delete those 3 days, and I'm going to apply that to June 1. And I can do this for each date. It only takes a minute to do. So by just doing a singular day, I can make sure that my error rate is low. Again, I don't want to be doing more work for myself. So June 9, June 10, June 11, and June 12. All right, so I've now got an appropriate calendar schedule set for when my facility will reopen on the 15th of June. Secret event. If you're creating multiple events and stuff that you don't want visible, you can create a secret event. I want this to be public, so I'm just simply going to hit next. All right, so the next. Now this is where you can add a little bit more information to your booking. So invitee questions. By default, it asks for name and email. And just a note, once a client books in for the first time, they will automatically repopulate. So they don't need to type in everything again. It will automatically give the information up. I'm also going to ask for a phone number. So I'm just going to say mobile. This makes communication really easy. And I'm going to say it's required. I'm going to just bring that priority up. So we've got name, email, phone number. Done. And then please share anything that will help prepare us for our meeting. So you can change this text as you like. So, you can ask if someone's traveled overseas in the last 45 days, okay? Again, someone that might have a little bit more legal understanding, you can probably put in the comments whether you can ask that. I'm pretty sure that on the signage, that certainly in my state, we can ask if someone has traveled overseas. And certainly, it might be something that you do need to collect, but you can put anything in there that you like. So you can say apply. Once you've got those questions done, you can save and close. Notifications and cancellation policy. This is just a generic confirmation that you can personalize. It pulls the data from the system and sends them just a generic email. I do not have much desire to adjust from the default. That's fine. But I'm going to scroll down. So you'll see here it says show cancellation policy. Now, if you're running a restricted schedule or a limited attendance schedule, meaning that you have a capacity that's higher than you're allowed, I strongly suggest that you put your cancellation policy here. When they accept the terms of the booking, they will see the cancellation policy, and that's your recourse. So, if someone cancels an hour before the session and your session is booked and that session can't be filled, put a charge in there. If it's, whatever the fee happens to be. Again, it's at your discretion how you run the gym or your facility, but any policy pertaining to cancellation and reschedule, absolutely put in here. This is going to be what makes your job a lot easier, and I suppose stop the frustration. If you're coming back at a reduced capacity, making sure that your sessions are full and being treated with respect is going to be your #1 priority. So for now, I'm just going to say save and close. I'm going to go back and put my cancellation policy in later on. Last one is going to be the payments. I'm not collecting payments because I do use a direct debit provider. And also payments is a pro feature. So if you upgrade to the pro, you can collect on-the-spot payments for things like PayPal and Stripe. This may be a good feature if you're taking new bookings through, so people that aren't necessarily on an automatic schedule. Again, the pro feature I think is an extra couple of bucks. So if you're doing initial bookings, I would, it might be a feature that you do want to activate. So I'm going to say, in all honesty, I'm going to have a look at this once this video is done. So I'm just going to close that. Last thing that you want to make sure is that your event type is on. So event type is on green. If you don't want it on, you turn it off. All right, really simple. All right, just click it. Last thing you want to do is just check that everything works. So I say view live page. All right, again, we don't have any bookings. So I'm going to do a little bit of a modification just so I can test that everything works. So I've just gone 30 days just as a test, view live page. Okay, so what I'm going to do is do a little test. I'm going to say view live page. So I've just extended it out to 30 days just so that I can see that everything works. And you can see that my first available booking is going to be the 15th of June. So here I am, an enthusiastic member of the community, wishes to book their first session back at CrossFit Aura on Monday the 15th. They click the session they want to do, Monday, June 15th, 6 a.m, and then they confirm. I'm going to throw in some details here. So I'm going to put my details in here. Oops. I'm going to put my email. If I can type my email. I'm going to put my mobile number. Have you travelled overseas? The answer is no. And then schedule. All right, all done. Now, because I didn't put the cancellation policy in there, it hasn't flashed up on the screen. However, hopefully that'll come through. So this is the confirmed. It says you are scheduled. You can add it to your calendar. All right, so this will give you Google, Outlook, or the integration with others. I use Google Calendar, which works for me, and it's also given me the details. So the class, the time that or time zone that's appropriate, as well as the physical location of where it happens to be. All right. So once you've done the confirmation, or your client has done the confirmation, it will flash them through to this screen. It will send them an email, and if I just check my my email address, here we go. So we're just checking through. So I've just had an email drop through onto my phone. I don't know if you can see this. Let me zoom in there. Okay, so it is a confirmation, and it says, "Hi, my name. Your group class is confirmed." It's given me the answers, and then down the bottom there it says make changes to this event with regards to a reschedule and a cancel. So really simple. It only took about a minute for that email confirmation to drop through, and you know what, all of that information is going to be available for you. Now, also, as I said to you about the contact tracing side, so what I've also had, because I'm using the same email address for the two, and can you see this? I think the screen's a bit glary. No, we can't see it. Anyway, what it has is it sent me an email, and it's just said that Matty Clark is attending. So this is actually the booking reference that will go to you as an owner. All right. So as I said to you at the top of the video, I would strongly suggest that you set up an alternate email address that's not your primary, only because you will get an email for every booking that occurs. So, you know, set yourself up a Gmail or an Outlook and have those emails being sent there. Unless, of course, you do want to see all of the individual emails, it's probably not absolutely necessary for you to get those. But again, that's up to you. So, guys, you would have noticed that the video just faded then. So I did my usual. We've done the setup, and I got so excited and shut it all down that I realized, how do you see who's booked into your session? So here's what we're going to do. So where you had event type, so this is where you set up your event screen. It says scheduled events. So this is where you're going to see who's doing what. So if I click on schedule events, it gives me the details. So Monday, June 15, and then it says 1 of 10 invitees. Remember that the standard was 10, or the max was 10. And it tells me who my invitees happen to be and gives me their details. All right. So as the invitee list increases, it will give me a longer list as we go. And this screen here also allows you to adjust the invitee limit. So if by for some reason the restrictions change for you and you're allowed more people in your facility, you can actually do it from this schedule event. You've got pending events. I've got nothing pending, and then past. All right, so these are all the guys that have actually booked with me in the past when I've been using. So all of that is there, and you're able to really easy. I said that you were able to export this data by simply hitting export. It all goes into a zip file, and it just gives you everything. You can adjust your date range as needed again, but yeah, really simple. So I do apologize for getting a bit excited and pushing close on this one. I needed to show you where you're able to see who your invitees are. So just by logging in, you can actually see who's going to be booked in to what class and how many you've got. All right. So if you're not opening because no one's there, you don't have to. Again, If you found this video to be useful, and I'm very grateful if you've managed to get all the way to the end, please hit like and subscribe. By showing me that little bit of support means that you like the content and that I should continue to share. So I wish you the best of luck and the best of strength as you all start to reopen your facilities and start to get back to whatever the new normal happens to be. Good luck with your processes. Again, feel free to throw some comments on the video or any questions that you might have. And yeah, hopefully everything starts to move in a really positive direction for all of us in a short period of time. That's it for me. Much love.